about giving nasiha. Nasiha is advice to Arabic. And this comes in the form of da'wah to non-Muslims and in the form of advice to Muslims. Amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar. And we said that making da'wah regarding Islam is an obligation of every Muslim. That you have to let people know about the truth. Whether they accept it or not, it is their own thing. It's up to them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet in the Quran, saying, this is the truth from your Lord. Whoever wants to accept it, and whoever doesn't want to accept it, it's up to them. This is what the Quran says. So we have an obligation towards the Muslims to convey Islam to them. Convey, not convert. So even Justin Bieber has a right on us to convey Islam to him because we don't want him to go to Jahannam. We give him da'wah. If he accepts, alhamdulillah. If he doesn't accept it, then we are free of guilt on the day of judgment because we have done our part. Last night we spoke about da'wah to Muslims, and we said that there are two types of mistakes we do when we make da'wah. Number one, we either don't talk to them. If you see a Muslim who doesn't pray, or a sister who's not wearing proper hijab, you don't talk to them. So you give them a feeling that what you are doing is okay. Okay. This is one extreme. The other extreme is we talk to them who are bad, and we criticize them, we look down upon them, we discourage them from any good deed they do. So the proper way of doing things is to stay in the middle, to be moderate in the way you give da'wah. Yes, you have an obligation to speak to them and correct them, but you have also to do it Islamically. So how you do da'wah Islamically? Number one, you have to lead by example. Our biggest problem when we deal with our children, for example at home, is we don't lead by example. The father will tell his children, if you smoke, you'll be an idiot, and you're holding a cigarette in your hand. They will never listen to you. And the mom will always tell her daughters, backbiting is haram. If you backbite, you go to Jahannam. And she's talking about her neighbors all day long. How many times you heard the story? The man who called his friend, so his son picked up, and the father told his son, I hate this guy, why he's calling me all the time? Tell him I'm not here. Then the son is very innocent. He will say, oh, uncle, my father says he's not here. And you just, what have you done? You crazy, you lost your mind? My friend will think of me as a liar now. Well, you are a liar. You told him you are not here and you are there. We teach our kids to lie from a very young age. If they see you praying, they will come and stand on the sajjada next to you and pray. If they see you lying, this is what they do. If they see you smoking, they will take the cigarette butts and they will smoke them. They're just like sponges. They absorb whatever you give them. So this is number one. You have to lead by example. Number two, you have to have the proper knowledge. Our biggest problem when we do da'wah to Muslims is people that you correct, they either debate and argue, as we said before, because they don't have the knowledge, or because they are biased toward one method. You tell them, for example, you correct them, you say, this is what Rasulullah says. He said, brother, this is what Abu Hanifa says. So now you put the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa against Rasulullah. Come on, I don't want even to get into this discussion. It's not a discussion to go for. So doing da'wah to non-Muslims, believe me, I've been in the field for so many years. Doing da'wah to non-Muslims is much, much easier than doing da'wah to Muslims. Because Muslims like to debate and argue about everything. So if you want to make da'wah to someone, avoid arguing and debating, you have to have the proper knowledge. We said you lead by example, but you have also to have the proper knowledge. Inshallah, I'm going to conclude with this story, and we'll continue tomorrow, inshallah. I said this story a long time ago, but I love this story. It's a true story that happened in a country in Southeast Asia. And again, I'm not going to mention the country. So, good biryani, but it happened, Southeast Asia. It happened in that remote village in that country. They had no imam. So what happened, they had a sheikh who knew some surahs from the Quran from Juz Amma, so they let him lead salah for the people. So he started to lead salah. And after a few weeks, he got some courage and he started to teach. No knowledge, he only memorized some surah, but he started to teach. So what he did, he got a book and he started to read from the book and explain. And one time it happened to be before Eid al-Adha, Qurban, and he was reading from the book, and it says, وَيُسْتَحَبُّ الْوُضُوء لِلْأَضَاحِي. It is from the sunnah to have wudu for the udhiyah. So he told him basically, before you kill the animal has to have wudu. You have to wash. Seriously, wallahi, it's a true story. You have to wash the nose and the little tail and legs and the ears, and just like the way you do wudu. So after the talk, it's very confusing in Arabic when you read it. The adahi could be for the udhiyah itself or for the animal. It's confusing. But anyone with basic knowledge of fiqh will know that we are talking about the person who is offering the udhiyah. It is not thought, it's a recommendation, but he got confused. So this poor miskeen guy came from the back of the masjid stumbling, and he said, Ya Shaykh, last year I was ignorant. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. I don't have your knowledge and insight and intelligence. Last year I offered the udhiyah, no wudu. Will that count? He said, can you pray without wudu? He said, no. He said the same thing. It was najasa, not accepted. So you have to have knowledge. The question for last night, where does it say in the Quran that the universe is expanding? وَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. Surah Al-Dhariyat, and number 47. And the winner is Sister Usama. Anyone to take the prize for her? Are you sure? Okay. Okay, the question for tonight is easy. Umar ibn Khattab accepted Islam when he read a few ayat from the beginning of a surah in the Quran. What is the surah that when Umar read, he took shahada? So what is that surah? If you know the answer immediately before tomorrow, ask.